What's going on today, people? You already know what it is. It's your boy Tunchi, and this is YBETV. You already know. Hit me up at 1YBETV at gmail.com, and I'll get right back to you with whatever questions you got for me. This question today is titled Moving Military Loads, and it comes from my boy Shawn Lemoto. It says, Tune, good evening. I am an officer in the U.S. Army, and I will be stationed at Fort Benning next month. And after watching your inspirational videos on YouTube, I really want to get into moving military loads, especially since I'm on base and will be a short distance from the transportation warehouse. I was wondering, how would I be able to get into moving these loads since I have no experience? And I was thinking of using the local truck company for their trucks and services to haul military loads under my company. The upside is I am on base and would know and see loads that are outgoing. Do you think this is possible and profitable for both myself and the local trucking company? Any help would be greatly appreciated. Very respectfully, Shawn Lemoto, Lemoto Transportation, LLC, possibly. Um, what I want to say is, bro, I like your thought process, man, and I think that is a possibility. It could go that way. Only the companies that I knew that was hauling military loads is TSMT. That's one of them. I think Landstar, SLT, Landstar, TSMT, and I forgot some of the other ones. But what I will say is, bro, check into those guys. Give them a call. Look them up. TSMT, as in Tina, Sharon, Michael, Tina. You know what I'm saying? So TSMT, look those guys up, and then I want you to look up SLT, as in Salt Lake Time, or Tammy. So look up SLT and TSMT, and Landstar does military freight. But I think SLT has become the biggest carrier. And it is some guys, like if I'm not mistaken, it is some guys that do shuttles. They go pick up the load and then they drop it they bring it somewhere so they can meet the driver and give it to them. It's a little bit more difficult when you're talking about military loads because number one, I can't put out like routes and I can't put out place locations you pick it up. It's against, like, I think it's against the law for me to like even say those things because that's what we were told. So what I can say is, number one, if you're thinking about doing military loads, you probably gonna most likely need a partner, unless you're doing the shuttles. So you're gonna have to really look into getting a partner if you want to run these types of loads. You can't run them on your own because if you have explosive diarrhea and you have a military load and you need to go to the bathroom, and you like, even if you only going 200 miles out and coming back, you can't use the bathroom. Like, bro, you will have to sit in that front seat and probably crap on yourself because that load cannot be left alone at any point in time. So they won't even let you run solo. So that's going to be one of the things that you're going to possibly run into. And another one of the things that you possibly going to run into is a lot of the times you go from military base to military base or manufacturer to military base. So a lot of the times it's going to be a little longer load. The only short loads that I knew of, and the guy was home all the time, was the shuttle. And I don't know if that paid pretty well, but for the most part, it probably did because I think they was on a guaranteed salary or whatnot. So you never know. And they would go into the base, and there's a lot of sitting. When you're dealing with military freight, it is a lot of sitting. It's not like a regular shipper or a receiver where you go in for 15 minutes or 20, 30 minutes to 2 hours. You go in, they give you a door, you sit, you back into the door, they load you. No, man, you might be in the middle of a base, and that base might take you about 45 minutes to get from just going through the entrance all the way to where you got to pick the load up at. That might take you 45 minutes just to get from the entrance to where you pick up the load at. It might be 30 miles inside your pickup area. So you going to pick up, you finally get out there, and you just standing there, you just sitting there in the middle of nowhere, and it's just like a little, it looked like a bunker. It's like a little hole in the grass with a door, and you just looking at these things, and you just sitting there. So you call back and they be like, oh no, just sit there. Somebody will be out there. So you just sitting out there for 2-3 hours, and then somebody finally pull up, and then they go into the bunker, and then they start hooking up this like little ramp to the back of your trailer, and they start loading you up. And that they take their time. They not in a rush. They are not in a rush. Those guys are not in a rush. And you might sit out there for 6-7 hours, getting loaded. And then you finally get loaded, and then you got another 45 minutes to get out the gate. You would damn near run out of hours getting loaded. So, and that's not all the time. Sometimes it's a dropping hook. Sometimes it's pretty cool. And, like, it just depends, man. So the best advice that I could give you is look into those companies and just Google some of the other companies that deal with military freight and just go from there, man. And I hope that's helpful to you, bro. And last but not least is, man, just keep your eyes open, keep your mind open, and don't get your mind set on just one thing. Keep a open mind is what I'm looking to say. Keep an open mind, and you're gonna do fine out here, man. And honestly, hey, military freight, it ain't nothing wrong with it, man. And it pays hella good. Oh, last thing that I want to tell you. If you run in military freight as an owner operator, let me tell you this cheat code. They put how much the freight pays to the company right on the freight bills a lot of the time. Like 95% of the time when you run it, it will put that on there. So what you need to do is take out whatever percentage that company is taking out and add that up. And if that don't match what they saying, you need to call them and make a complaint. Like, hey, because I done did that before. This is the last thing I want to say. I done that before where they say, oh, that load, it's 400 miles and that load pays $1,900 to the truck. And then I looked up on that and it said it paid $4,000. And I'm like, okay. I called in like, well, if it pays $4,000, that means we make $700 off of every one of those. So that's 7, 14, 20. That's $2,800. What you mean $1,400? Then they went like, well, let me go check. Called me right back like, oh, you know what? We didn't get the updated bill. You right. It do pay $2,800 to the truck. And I'm like, oh, hell no. I was on it every time after that. So be careful. And, like, trust none. Like Chief Keef say, trust none. I hope that's helpful, man. You already know what it is. It's your boy Tunchi. If you don't want to end up in a box, think outside of it. YB.
Drug dealing and killing is going on in my town. It don't take a killer to kill or a driller to drill. See, just being yourself is the definition of real.